Krishna Sridham Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So you finally brought something, huh? Hare Krishna. We keep telling Sridham Krishna Prabhu, don't bring anything, but always enthusiastic to bring something.
More on word is like Guru Maharaj, so we made some sweet.
Very nice. Good. Thank you very much. Okay, so we'll get started. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we have many devotees today. All are here. We've got Vilas Prabhu family, Ram Krishna Prabhu and family. We have Kunal Prabhu and family. Their parents have come, so they all are here. So thank you so much, and we'll see you in some time. I believe Vishakha Mataji is on the way. She'll be here in some time. So let us get started with a little kirtan, then we'll get into discussion. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Vraja
Yamuna Tira Vanagati
Yamuna Tira
Yamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Kunja Bihari
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Gurudev, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hari Ram Sankirtan Yajna ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari.
Hari Bol.
So thank you very much, dear devotees, for joining in person and those who are online. So we'll begin with our Mangalacharan. Om Jnanadmirandhasya Jnananjalashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovishnam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sule Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, devotees, for joining. Very happy to see devotees after a long time, especially Robert Prabhu, whom I'm seeing almost after like more than 2 years.
I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah, I mean,
I did miss you guys. I guess.
yeah, I mean, he was always
In the
joining,
video, yeah.
you know, and he's the only devotee who will have his video on all the time. I'm not saying him, everybody will have something to do, but he's like one single focus, you know, his video is always on. So that is very kind. And if I'm late, like he's always there and he's chanting. So today's topic is also very relevant to that, you know. The slogan number 7 is also related to the interest in chanting, you know, how to cultivate that. So we get a lot of inspiration from Robert Prabhu. Because you will see him, he will carry a bag, he will always have some small book to read. So he will always carry it with him. So it is very kind. We get a lot of inspiration. That's the advantage of having sadhu sangha. When we associate with devotee, we learn from some person's better good qualities. You know, we don't have to see, oh, he's coming late, nothing of that sort. We should see that who's coming on time and what we can learn from that person. So that way, Robert Prabhu has always been very inspirational. You know,
It's following everybody's example.
yeah, no. You inspire me at least. You know, I see you are always on time. You are always having your video on. So, and you are chanting, you know, not wasting a moment, even while waiting for a few minutes, chanting Hare Krishna in the background. So that's very inspirational. So thank you so much. So, thank you. So Vikas Prabhu, thank you very much. We have been meeting on and off, but very good to see you. Thank you very much, Vilas Prabhu, for bringing the family. Welcome, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Mataji and Prabhuji joins every day in the morning for chanting. Both of them are together. So that's also very inspirational. Okay, so with this, we'll begin our discussion today. So we are reading from Nectar of Instruction. I'm sure everybody has seen this particular small book that we have. It has got just 11 verses, 11 shloka, but very powerful. This Nectar of Instruction and Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada says this is like our law book of ISKCON. If somebody wants to be very successful, then they just read this, follow what is written here. Their Krishna conscious life will be successful. They can achieve Krishna consciousness only by reading this book. That's it. You don't need to read anything else. Because the instruction which is given, you just have to follow it. Because this is coming from Acharya. You know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave instruction to Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami wrote this 11 shloka. Basically, he gave this instruction to Jiva Goswami. You know, when Jiva Goswami was spending time in defeating some scholar, that time he wrote 11 letters that become this wonderful small book. But this is very, very powerful. Everybody should read it and reread it. Even if you're, oh, I've read it. No, read it, reread it. Because every time we read again and again, we see some different meaning. That is, at least with me, I have seen. If I read something, then last time I did not read this, you know, something like that happens. So today's topic is very interesting. You know, it is about Nama Ruchi. How to develop taste for Harinam. We all are chanting, right? Some are chanting 16, some are trying to reach to 16, some are chanting during Brahma Murta, but everybody is chanting. But how to develop the Nama Ruchi means how can we have a position where we are constantly chanting? We are doing something, we are constantly Harinam is going on. You know, how can we develop that? This verse is specifically going to talk about that. So very, very interesting things are there, and we'll try to understand through discussion that we have. So let us recite this verse first. So I hope you all can see what is being shared. Let me bring this one here. Yeah. Syat Krishna Nam Charita Disita Piva Avidya Pitto Patat Taptarasanasya Narochikanu Kintvadaradanudinam Khalu Saiva Justa Swadvi Kramad Bhavati Tad Damulahantri. So let's read the translation. Is anybody here who would like to read the translation?
The holy name, character, pastimes, and activities of Krishna are all uncertainly sweet like sugar candy, although the tongue of one afflicted by the zombies of avidya, ignorance, cannot taste anything sweet. It is wonderful that simply by carefully chanting these sweet names every day, a natural relish opens within his tongue, and his says is greatly destroyed at the root.
Gradually destroy at the root. So what is it saying? That Krishna's holy name, character, pastime, and Krishna's all transcendental activities that you see in the bottom, we see those, all the activities, Harinam, all those things. These are like sweet sugar candy. It's very sweet. Who likes sweet? Kavish, you like sweet? See, he's raising his hand, full hand, like sweets. You like sweets or no? Nobody will say no. When a sweet is coming, can I have Mataji some more? Sweets is very good. So to get more is to appreciate. If you want more, say this is very good, amazing. Oh, Prabhuji, you want some more? That's the way you get. You don't have to ask for more. So all the Krishna's pastime, name, form, lila, everything is like a sweet sugar candy. But we are afflicted with a disease called jaundice. So has anybody suffered from jaundice? I have. Anybody? I don't want anybody else, but yeah, somebody has. Okay. Baby, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So when we have jaundice, of course the body becomes little yellowish, all the stuff. But we also, when we eat sweet, we feel like it's very bitter. That's how it is. It tastes very bitter. Something like, you are eating peda or rasmalai. Rasmalai, you like rasmalai, right? It's like you are eating Kerala juice or something like that. It's like that. It's very bitter. That's the disease. In a good condition, rasmalai is very tasty, isn't it? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Ram Prabhu. Please come. Yeah, come here. Come here forward. Don't have to be backbenchers. You can be here also. So here Rupa Goswami is saying we are afflicted by a disease called ignorance, avidya. And because of that, we are not getting taste of Harinam. Even after many, many years of chanting, we have to force ourselves to chant. That let's chant, we have to wake up. Sometimes I get late, then I think, oh, Bilas Prabhu must be waiting on the call. Let me get up ready. Let me get ready. What he will think? Or he is not coming. Prabhuji, what happened? You're not coming on time. So with that thought, I'll wake up. Alarm will not wake me up. So this is what happens. Because we still don't have developed the taste for Harinam. I will discuss about the stages of chanting and all that. So we cannot taste anything. Means we will not like. When Harikatha is going on, we are like, how long? When it will end? When prasadam will be served? In temple also we are sleeping. And and when they say Prabhupada ki jai, we also wake up. Hare go, That's like alarm clock. And we said, Prabhu, very beautiful class. What was it? It's amazing. It put me to sleep. So, because why? Because we still don't have the taste for Katha. That's why we go to sleep. We don't like it. We are doing something else when this is going on. So, how to overcome this? So, here a remedy is given here itself. What do you say? You have to keep repeating, keep chanting, even if we don't have taste. Keep doing it. Someday we'll develop taste. Keep serving Vaishnava. By their blessings, we'll develop taste. So this is important. Keep doing. If you want to remove anartha, what we have to do? We have to stop doing. But if you want to increase bhakti, you have to keep doing, even if you don't get any taste, even if you are disinterested. I don't like it. I don't like to wake up in the morning. I don't like to chant. Still, we have to pick up our japa beads and start chanting, even if you don't like it. So at least at the level of Nam Aparad, we are chanting. We are chanting, Many times in the beginning, when I started chanting, it's very difficult. So we need something else to chant. Meaning, there's a cricket going on, we are chanting. Okay, it's like, Sachin Tendulkar is playing and now we are chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And we are enjoying and we think Nam is going on. But that's how we started. Slowly, slowly we improve it. We don't look at anything else. We look at, deities' pictures and then we chant. Then we start chanting in the morning. Slowly this improvement comes. It's not going to come overnight. So if we don't have taste, we just have to keep chanting. Regardless of, even Khaite, Bashite, Suite, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, wherever you want, you just keep chanting. So that's how we should do. So what happens, in a healthy state, what happens? Healthy state, we think, I am eternal servant of Krishna. In a non-healthy state, what happens? We think, oh, I am something. I am president of a country. I am a vice president of a company. I am CEO of a company. That kind of thing happens. But here, what happens? I am eternal servant of Krishna. So that happens. And we are what happens? We are free to act. We are free to love to Krishna. We are free. Loving Krishna, there is no boundary. If a mother has to love a child, is there a permission required? She just loves, very, very simply. It's very natural. So we also can develop that love for Krishna. Right now, we may not have. Some of us may have. But we need to reach to that stage. And in healthy state, there is no contamination. We don't have disease. Means we feel like we are a soul. Right now, we are still identifying ourselves with the bodily concept. I am so and so person. I am a parent. I am a father. I am a brother, sister. I'm so and so in this company. That's how we identify. But when we go to higher taste, we don't do that. Like for example, when Sukadeva Goswami was walking near the river, and there were women bathing in the pond, and they did not cover themselves. But when Vyasadeva passed from there, they all covered themselves. So Vyasadeva asked, when my son passed by, you did not cover yourself. But when I passed, you covered yourself. Why is it so? Then they said that your son is a Paramahamsa. He does not identify himself with the body. But that's the identification given. So Sukadeva Goswami is a Paramhams. He does not identify himself as a body. He doesn't even know whether he is wearing clothes. No, he doesn't even know about it. He is covered only from the 10 directions. That's what he used to wear. But to reach to that stage, we have to begin somewhere. And that's the journey we all have started. Right? Coming in contact with Prabhupada's disciples, chanting, coming in congregation. That's what has started. So this is a healthy state. What happens in our condition is having a jaundice. We all have jaundice. Some of us has got severe, some of us have got less. But everybody has a little bit of jaundice. We need to cure that. So what happens here? Like, Can we read the translation for this next slogan? If somebody can read.
Getting Krishna, the living entity has been attracted by the external feature from time immemorial. Therefore, the illusory energy, Maya, gives him all kinds of misery in his material existence.
Thank you, Shri. So, because we have forgotten Krishna, Maya is also Krishna's energy. Maya's job is to do what? To bring all the jivas back to Krishna. But how? By giving them pain, difficulties, miseries. We think we are enjoying. Like, the camel. But camel eats what it eats. It eats the thorny things, and then when his tongue gets pierced with that, the blood comes out. And camel thinks, oh, this is so tasty. This is very good, and keeps eating. But camel doesn't know that actually he is drinking his own blood. So same thing, when we are trying to enjoy in this material world, we are actually harming ourselves. But we think we are enjoying. That is the condition. So we should, so Maya job is to give us pain so that it's bahut ho gaya. Now it's too much. I need to go back. That's how we go back. We turn towards Krishna. And so now I want. I have seen many, and I was also like that. We'll go to temple, only we have some problems in life. There's too much problem. Let me go to temple. Prabhu, kuch kar do abhi. Can you solve this problem? So every time problem, go there and get the problem solved, then come back. Again, again problem, go back. We give this example. In India, when the school children are there, when exam time, the temples are flooded. So everybody is able to relate it, right? We have seen this happening. I think Rampur was mentioning there is a temple in Andhra Pradesh where somebody want visa for US, you go and visa Tirupati or something, visa Balaji. Chennai is also there. Yeah. See, this is. So you want something? Ganesh temple. He's saying visa Vinayak. Oh my God. So name itself is like Visa Balaji, Visa Vinayak. So we can see anything you want, we just go there. So this is our condition, because we all want to what? We all want to enjoy in this material world. But this is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. This is temporary and it's a dukkhalaya. But we think we are enjoying. Either we live in India, America, condition may be a little different. If you go to Swargalok, it is even better. You don't get disease, you don't get old, your body is effulgent, all time smell is good, fragrance is coming out of your body, you are walking little above the floor or ground, all these features are there in Swargaloka. But again, once it is over, what happens? You have to come back. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, you have to come back once your punya is finished, you come back and then again start your journey from zero. So we have no taste for Harinam. We are not able to chant. Somebody, Prabhu, ek mala kar lo, ek mala. Ek kal karenge abhi, aaj thoda theek nahi lag raha. Tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. Tomorrow never comes for chanting. Initially, when I was doing these classes, journey of self-discovery, where they initially tell you about what is Bhagavad Gita, what is Krishna, very high level. So at least we get something, we are not body, soul, this kind of thing. And then at the end of the class, they will give you japa. Okay, now let's chant. And that seems to be very hard time. Because we have never hold the bead in our hand, how to hold it. Then he will actually teach, okay, everybody, please look at this, how to hold it. This is how you do it. It is so difficult just to hold. And Prabhu, it's moving in your we are not nowhere to move it because we don't know how to do it. It is so difficult. Slowly we start doing. Slowly the journey begins. And then we start chanting. But initial first round, I'm sure anybody would have chanted first round, I'm told. If you remember, then we can read. At least I remember. It was so difficult for me. Even now.
The first round is the
Ram
most
Prabhu
difficult
is,
round.
Sri Ram Prabhu is confessing. And that's the truth. It is for everybody. First round is very difficult.
Feels like the longest.
Yeah. And then last round is like, finish, let's finish. Oh, okay, now it's coming to end. We have to finish. So you are like racing against the time. Last round, oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You know, when that gets over, sorry.
Only he sings sound with all.
Is it good? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. We don't know what you're saying. Huh? Yeah, then hang it. Oh, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Like, you know, it's like a best thing which has happened in our day. But yeah, we all need to develop that, you know, test for Harinam. We see that we don't like to hear, we don't like to chant. We don't like, you know, there's a program in temple. Oh, it's too far. Why should I go there? Maybe next time. Today, who is the speaker? Oh, Gopa Prabhu is speaking. Maybe I'll go when Amranda Prabhu is speaking. You know, mind start playing tricks with us. Mind will play tricks when we should do, what we should not do. So the subtle thing, you know, mind is a servant of intelligence. But we make our intelligence servant to our mind. Whatever mind says, mind dictate, intelligence will say, yeah, we'll do it. But actually, we should use our wisdom, intelligence to overcome the mind, the thought that's saying, don't do this. No, I have to do it. What is intelligence? That chanting is important. It's one of the most important activity of the day. That is intelligence. Maya says, oh, it's too cold. You know, it's Sunday, we can whole day, we have what to do. We can sleep little more. Yesterday you were in temple, you did a lot of seva. So today you can, mind will play all the tricks, right? And then sometime we fall trapped to that kind of thoughts and we wake up late and then we regret. You know, mind will only help us regret. Arey, you should have wake up early, you know? Now you are chanting during daytime. What is this? Mind will first play the trick for not allowing chant. And then if you don't chant, then mind will again say, oh, you made a mistake. Mind will chastise us. That's the mind. Very powerful. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I can control wind, everything I can control. I cannot control my mind. Krishna, tell me, how do I do it? Such a great warrior is able to control everything, but not his mind. This is mind. And we are trying to control that. The only way to control the mind is develop taste for chanting. Absolutely. Now, when we used to chant earlier, Prabhu used to come from India and he'll chant. Kunal Prabhu's father, he'll be there on chanting. So it's very inspirational because, you know, somebody is there chanting with all of us during their daytime. Because like it's like 4 o'clock or something like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So he'll come and chant with all of us. So it is like very, very nice to see. So this is our condition. Now, what is the cause of this is avidya. Avidya, ignorance. Because of the ignorance. What is ignorance? Is, you know, we are having ahankar. I am this, I am so and so. I am millionaire, I am vice president, I am manager. I am here on green card. Oh, my friends are in India, they are slogging so much. You know, this kind of pride can come. Pride can come from anywhere and anywhere. On anything we can become proud. We see somebody having a normal car, you say, oh, I got a bigger car, better car. Immediately pride comes. You never know pride comes from where. And there is a very wonderful saying which says, pride comes before the fall. Pride comes before the fall. Means our fall down will soon start if you are proud. It will soon start. Especially in a bhakti, it is definitely not recommended to be proud of anything. Even of our bhakti, we should not be proud. Oh, I'm chanting during Brahmurta. Oh, I'm singing Kirtan so nice. Oh, I'm praying Mridanga so nice. We can have any, even these are very subtle pride, you know, which can come even in bhakta. Even within devotees, this can happen. Oh, I'm singing so nicely. If you are not giving opportunity during Kirtan Mela, if you are, I'm not given, I'm singing so much. You know, this kind of often we get offended. But we have to take care of all the small aparad that we tendency to commit these kind of offenses should be avoided. It all happens because of we are forgetting Krishna. We don't remember Krishna all the time. Right? We remember everything else except Krishna. Except Krishna, we remember everything. Isn't it? It is difficult to remember Krishna all the time. In fact, chanting stops the moment the bead bag is down. The Nam doesn't come. So actually, this is very good to have in hand. Only when you put your hand inside the bag, then the Nam starts. It's like it's like a current. You get, oh yes, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But the moment it is there, it becomes very difficult to chant. So sometimes, when we were driving and all that, I will not use this because this becomes dangerous. Safety is. But we have that counter, you put it on your finger and so at least that helps. At least something is there, and then we start remembering Krishna. So we have to artificially force us, but that is still good, no problem. Mimicking is allowed, imitation is allowed in chanting. You can try. Slowly, the ruchi will come. But don't give it up. Acharya says don't give it up. Many times we get discouraged saying that, I'm not able to chant. But then you have to pray to Krishna that please help me so I can chant nicely. You have to pray to Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada, Haridas Thakur, Namacharya. You are chanting so nicely, but I cannot chant even one round attentively. Please help me. You have to beg. You have to beg with them. And then we get mercy. But if we are having tendency to commit offenses, then the Nam Ruchi will take a long time to come. It will take a long time to develop Nam Ruchi. And other thing why we don't get attracted to Nam is that we are attracted to something else. Something else is Maya. Either it is Krishna, either we are Krishna conscious, or we are not. It is not like that I'm here and here. It's not possible. Right? So we are playing with Maya, we are enjoying with the Maya, we are in the lap of Maya, so we forget Krishna. So that should be 100% avoided. And our leadership is also having a lot of ignorance. Now, when you have a leader who are ignorant, how they will lead? They will lead us also into ignorance. There you can see all these blind people there.
Following one person.
Yeah, falling blind. What happens? If there is a picture, I think I have this. Yeah, here. This is what happens. When you have a blind person, you're following him. What happens? You are also going to fall in the ditch. So we should choose the leader very wisely. So when we are choosing Prabhupada as our Param Guru, as a leader, what happens? We follow on the path where he followed. We follow his instructions. We follow how he conducted himself. If you read Lilamrit, amazing stories are there. Very beautiful. When we read, we get so much inspiration from that. That Prabhupada did so much at such a ripe age for all of us to come together in a country like this and chanting. It is unimaginable that what Prabhupada did. We can only think that, it's all set up and all this. But if you look at the way he has gone through so much struggle and pain and trouble and still constantly working to establish this institution, expanding, making sure everybody gets the Harinam in so many places. It is remarkable. His contribution we cannot measure it. If you look at any sampradaya, everybody has a very high regard and respect for Srila Prabhupada. So we should definitely not fall to these kind of things. We should choose our leader very, very wisely. Because yad yad acharti sreshta, as the leader or the top people do, everybody else follows. So general people will follow a leader only. If you have a bad leader, we can look at some countries where you have a poor leader. What happens? Company becomes bankrupt. So many problems happens. When the leader is very strong, leader is very ethical, very honest, the country flourishes. Right? We have seen all the examples in the various leadership in different countries. We know about all this, right? So what happens? Why these kind of leaders? Because of this. Bhagavad Gita says, Namam duskritino mura prapadyante naradama mayaya ahartakanana asuram bhavamashitaha. So There's four kind of people are described here. Four kind of people who don't take to the shelter of Krishna, who don't take to Krishna consciousness. Four type of people. What are those? Muda, are foolish people. Foolish people who keep working, thinking I'll get more money, I'll enjoy my life. Just for that. So they are all working. They have no time. I come from Mumbai, so in Mumbai, people travel in train, and traveling in train in Mumbai is, I don't know if you have seen it, it is very difficult. Local train, like, is very difficult. Yeah. If somebody from outside, first time he comes, he just cannot get into the train. If he gets in, he cannot get out of the train at the right place. It's so difficult.
He doesn't have to get in. He will be standing in the door.
Yeah.
Door only pushing.
Push, pull. So it's very difficult.
You need to adjust to that flow.
Yes. So that problem happens. So some people think that I will go to Pune and then probably it will be good for me. So Pune, Mumbai is like, 3 hours by train. So for like 1,000, 2,000 rupees extra, they will go to Pune and they'll spend like 6 hours in train, coming, going, In the morning, they will get Indrayani Express, Deccan Express, and then they will go and come back in the evening. So they go in the morning, they come back by 10 o'clock at home, and again wake up at 5 o'clock to start journey at 6 o'clock. And this is the life. So there is a time for Krishna consciousness. There is no time. So it's like a Muda. Second is like a Naradha, uncivilized people who are just want to enjoy life, who just want to enjoy drinking. Every Friday they will have party because they would work so hard for 5 days. So now relaxation, it can only come from where? Party. So go to beer bar or something, relax. Because if you see at 5 o'clock in US, if you see 5 o'clock, you see all the restaurant on Friday is full. You will not get space. Right? It's full. From 4 o'clock only the people are sitting there. Because they have worked so hard for 5 days and now they are frustrated, they are tired, and they want to relax. So they find this. So these are all Naradama. Then Mayaya Apaharta Gnana. Those who are scholarly people. They have a lot of knowledge. And they think that we are the best. They write so many books on economical development. They will write their own theses and publish papers, all this thing. So, like one of the thing is, what is his name? Stephen Hawking, right? And he was a great physicist, no doubt about it. He had that knowledge, but he never believed in God. He said there is nothing like God. He always used to say, even at the stage where he couldn't speak, he used to have the support. He come in a wheelchair. He still kept on thinking about that. There is no God, he said. God doesn't exist. That was his thought process. So those kind of people fall under this category. Now, if those all who are following him, what happens? They will also think there is no God, right? Because whatever leader says, you believe in it, and you just go after it. They go with the flow. That's what happens. And then there are atheistic people. Atheistic means they don't believe in God. Like country like North Korea, Russia, communists, they don't believe in God. China, for example, they don't believe, largely, they don't believe in God. There is no God. In fact, if somebody believes in God, they feel, what is it? They feel like he is like enemy. They treat you like that. Especially when Prabhupada used to preach in Russia, it was like a very high risk zone. Prabhupada will go and how they will smuggle Bhagavad Gita. They will take one Bhagavad Gita and photocopy, and then they sell it, they distribute. Because if you are selling, distributing Bhagavad Gita in Russia, you could be jailed. There are devotees who are jailed, and there is an amazing book. If you have it, you should read it, called The Salted Bread. Yeah, about 2 devotees. It's a very, very inspirational story, but also it will give you goosebumps by reading the kind of torture that they have gone through. And to spread Krishna consciousness in Russia, how much effort they have put in. They have risked their entire life. So that's something that we can see. So how to overcome this? What is the cure of this? Is to eat sugar candy. Sugar candy is only one thing. Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Keep chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. That's only sugar candy we have. Keep eating. Everybody likes sweets, so we should keep eating. This sugar candy is something that will not give you diabetes. It will probably cure diabetes. So we should keep chanting. That's the only thing we have. That's the only thing we can do. That's the way we can overcome. And while chanting, as we read every day in the morning before chanting, we read those 10 offenses that we should avoid, right? So those offenses is not just for reciting. Okay, I'm reading all day, but we have to consciously think: Am I doing it? Am I thinking like that? Like that, we should keep reminding ourselves, and not just during the chanting, but during the entire day. So we'll not go through. Yeah, but this is too small, so we'll not go. But basically, it talks about first is Vaishnava Aparadh, where somebody is having taste of Harinam, we offend them, we don't treat them well. That's the first one. Second one talks about offending or the Lord Himself. We think Krishna, Lord Shiva, they are on equal platform. That is not the case, right? All the Shastra that we are studying, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, everywhere Krishna tells He's Bhagavan, right? So all these things should be not just we should read it, but we should try to implement that in our day-to-day activity. Because any offenses that we commit, we are still at the Nam Aparadh level. That's the first stage of chanting. We are still doing Nam Aparadh. Then we go to the next stage, which is Namabhas, little better stage. It's like a medium. The best is the Shuddha Nam. So these are the ways we can chant. So we are like neophyte devotee who chants, as I was giving example, while watching TV, while doing something else, we are chanting. I'm saying those 16 rounds, prescribed 16 rounds, should be chanted very attentively. After that, if you're chanting extra round, which we may not count, then that's okay. We are doing something and chanting, that is still okay. But those 16 rounds, which is committed to our Guru Maharaj, those have to be chanted very, very attentively. If possible, in single sitting in one place. If you are sitting here in one place, we should chant. So there is a lot of sadhus in Vrindavan. If you go to Vrindavan, we should see some of the sadhus, the way they conduct themselves. So there is one sadhu, his name is Ramesh Babaji. I don't know if anybody has heard of his name. So he hardly sleeps. He sleeps for like 2 hours or something like that. He starts his day at 2:30 in the morning. He'll wake up, take bath, and he will sit in his asana at 3 o'clock. He starts chanting. From 3 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon, he's sitting in one place and chanting for 12 hours. Constant chanting. 12 hours. No getting up in between. 12 hours is constantly chanting. So, 2 weeks back, we had one devotee who had come from Vrindavan. And he was in US, he was citizen, he gave up everything, went to Vrindavan, and he lives in Vrindavan. So he was sharing this story. So I will share that story. So this Ramesh Babaji, how he conducts his life is that 12 hours he is chanting. After that, he will see if there is a visitor has come to meet him. And after 3 o'clock, he will see them. And any questions, any katha, all those things he will do. He will take a little bit of prasadam. And then again, in the evening, he will have again katha, where devotees will come to listen to his katha, some kirtan. And then he will feed all the devotees. Okay, you take. Because katha can go on till 11 in the night. They come in the bhav and then it can go on. And then he will go to sleep around midnight. and then wake up at 2:30 in the morning. So this is his routine every day. So this devotee who, went there, he says he got darshan of Ramesh Babaji. He doesn't get darshan so easily. So he went there. And he was standing outside, while he was finishing his japa. He was standing saying that when he finished, I'll go and meet him. So Babaji was chanting and he says, okay, is anybody coming? Because this son, was very saintly people, they come to know if somebody has come in, or we need doorbell for us to know somebody has come or not. But they will come to know. So he said, yes, somebody has come in. He said, yes. Okay, please call him, So he comes in. And obviously he comes in, he pays obeisances. So the Babaji has a very small kuti, very small, 5 feet by 5. So it's like only this much, little bigger than this. That's it. And in which he's standing. So he has got his deities and he's standing in front of them on putting on the asana. That's it. That's a small place he has got. So when he paid obeisances, he says his hand touched the asana of the Babaji. And when it touched, all the hair that he had stood up, you got a goosebump. You got like a current that, because the kind of, when you chant in one place, the urja that gets developed on that asana is very, very high. So that's why it is recommended that we should chant at the same place every day. Every day. At the same place. And we should only sit on that place. We should not allow anybody else and other people to sit. That's our place where we are sitting and chanting all the time. So that is the potency of the Harinam. The rest that we get, we have to sleep to get relaxation, right? The great devotees get relaxation only through chanting only. They don't need to sleep. Prabhupada used to hardly sleep. Why? Because whatever rest that we need, our body needs, they were able to get it in the mode of goodness itself. We need tamogun to put our body to sleep. Then we say, okay, now we are feeling good. But they will get the same relaxation in mode of goodness, which we do not get. So chanting is 3 stages. Nam aparad is like offensive. We might be doing aparad. It's like, the arrows are not going in the center. They're putting everywhere. So Nam aparad is like that. We are trying to chant, but we should still keep chanting. The only solution for reaching to the Namabhas from Namaprad is to keep chanting. And from Namabhas to Shuddhanam is also chanting. At the Shuddhanam, what happens? We will see that Krishna is dancing on our tongues. We are liberated at that stage. We will be liberated at that stage. Prabhupada, Ramacharya Sri Haridas Thakur, the 6 Goswamis, everybody had this Shuddhanam. As you can see, Radharani used to cover, with their chanting, there is no shade. Radharani herself will come and cover their head. This is Shuddhanam. So we should try to go there. So there is a beautiful verse which comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is taken from Vidaga Madhava, by Rupa Goswami. So this is a very, very beautiful. So let us read this verse and then we read the translation. Because here Rupa Goswami has a very wonderful message that we can see. So let us see. Tunde Tandaviniratim Vitanute Tundavalillapyate Vitanute Tundavalilabdhaye Karna Kroda Kadambini Ghatayate Karnarbudebhya Struham Chetah Prangan Sangini Vijayate Sarvendriyanam Kritim No jane janita kriyat bir amritai Krishneti varnadvai.
No jane jane
So let's read the translation. So anybody would like to read translation? Kunal, go ahead.
I do not know how much nectar the two-syllable Krishna have produced. When the holy name of Krishna is chanted, it appears to dance within the mouth. We then desire many, many mouths. When the name enters the holes of the ears, we desire many millions of ears. And when the holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart, it conquers the activities of the mind, and therefore all the senses became inert.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So here, when this will happen? For example, when we are eating something nice prasadam, what happens? We like to eat more. When when we go in temple and Ghanshyam Prabhu has made nice gulab jamun, rasgulla. So we think, can I get more? We don't satisfy with one, right? Because though the size is like big, we still want more. Dil mage more. So this is what it is. When we develop the ruchi for Harina, then we want more mouth. I want to chant more. One mouth is not sufficient. I want to hear Hari Katha. Oh, I need millions of ears so I can hear more Katha. That kind of bhav will come when we have developed taste for Nam Ruchi or for love for Krishna. Right now, even 2 years, we feel there is too much Katha. Too much chanting is ho gaya. Just a parabola, we chant and then okay, Hari Bol. We put it on and that's it. But here he's saying that I want to chant more. I want to chant more with. I should have more mouth, so I can chant millions times more. That's a bhav. When we start chanting, we develop love for Krishna. So you all should pray to go to this stage where we develop this kind of love. Today we have this kind of love for all the material things. One car, oh, can I have more? Maybe another car. Why I'm living in an apartment? Can I live in a home? Why I'm living in a home? Can I have a bigger home? This is a thinking which is. Now, there is nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there is anything wrong. So we can have the desire, but then we have to renounce those desire. Because otherwise, what happens? If you try to artificially renounce, there is a problem. In artificially renouncing, will create more problem. Like there is a story. So there was a person who was living a grahastha life. Then he think that he heard a lot of Hari Katha and all this. So I think I should renounce. This is. I mean, because every Hari Katha they say renounce. They keep telling. So he think I should renounce. So he start thinking, okay. So he says, okay, and then I will have disciples. I will, I'll get more disciples. So he lives in a forest. So he grows beard, jata, all those things, all those things happens. Now, people from village will come and they will do Harikatha, all those things. So it was going on nice for some time. So one day some villagers asked, Araj, anything, are you happy? You need anything else? He says, yeah, I'm happy, but this whatever little atta, the wheat flour, all this which I keep, this rat comes and this stuff they eat because in forest we don't have this. What to do? He says, Maharaj, what we can do? We can get you a cat. So, the cat will drive away these rats and your problem will go away. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's bring the cat. So they bring the cat. So cat comes in. Now cat is making all the rats run away. So he feels good. Oh, this is good. But then cat is hungry. So cat is doing meow, meow. So now he's not able to concentrate, meditate. You think what's going on? Now cat needs food. How to get food? He says, then devotees again come for a weekly satsang. He says, this cat needs something, what to do? He says, maybe she needs milk, you can come to village and bring it. So he said, okay, I'll do that. So now he started going to village to bring milk for the cat. Then he goes, he's spending a lot of time in commuting. Then he says, I think I'm traveling too much. I don't know what to do, how I can save my time. Maybe we'll give you a cow. You can just milk it and you don't have to travel. He said, yeah, that's also a good idea. Okay, let's get cow. We get a cow. Now he's able to milk and give it to cat. The cat is happy. But now the cow is there. Now cow is, you have cow dung, cow urine, all the things roaming around. He's in a small ashram where he has to clean. Then cow needs fodder, he needs to eat. He may not get everything in forest, so he has to go far and bring those fodder for the cow. So now he's taking care of the cow. So he's like, I got stuck in this. Again, the village guy, I hope everything is all right, Maharaj. I hope, He said, yeah, but I have to do so much work. Oh, you should get your wife then. She will do all these things and then you can continue bhajan. So what's the point in this kind of renunciation? We again come back to the same thing. So instead of that, living in our grihasthashram, we can still renounce. Renounce is having not attachment with whatever that we have. That is the renunciation. We can still live in the same home, but we don't have attachment to this home. We don't become proud with what we have. These are the way we can renounce ourselves. And we can develop love for Krishna. So, this is our happiness curve. See, initially, the spiritual happiness means we have to wake up in the morning, we find it's, oh my God, it's too much. Waking up at 4 o'clock, that's the time we get the best sleep, Because if you see the history of the thieves, they steal at that time. Because that time people are very fast asleep, like 3:30 to 5:30 is the time where most burglary happens in India. Because that time everybody is sleeping very sound. But that time, if a devotee wakes up, then he says that's too much. Then waking up early, because Prabhupada used to say, Prabhupada says, if somebody wakes up in the Brahma Muhurta, takes bath means cold water bath. Here we have heater and here we switch on heater and we get all hot water. It's not. It's cold water bath. Some people are thinking, how can we take cold water bath? Difficult. And that too in Vrindavan. So imagine, it's much colder. In winter it is very cold. So you take cold water bath, he does Nam Jap, he doesn't do any aparadh. For 12 years, if you do this routine, 12 years, then whatever he says will become true. That's the kind of siddhi you get in 12 years. So that's the power of chanting. And this is Prabhupada saying, not coming from me. So chanting is very powerful, but here, initially we find it very difficult. Oh, how can I get? But as we continue chant, we get wonderful association, like, devotee coming, they are all cooking nice prasada, we are having feast. So we are able to even engage our senses. For example, I want to eat nice food. No need to go to restaurant. We can come to Bhakti Vriksha where we can, Mataji can create some nice menu and then we all can have prasada. So whatever we could enjoy materially, we can do that spiritually also. But that should not be the aim. We come together not for that. Our eventual purpose is to progress further in Krishna consciousness. So spiritual happiness will go over a period of time if you are very sincere in our sadhana. If you have to be very sincere in sadhana. But the material happiness at the same time will actually go down over a period of time. If you see today, the richest of the people, the great celebrities of the people, celebrities in the world, some of them are committing suicide. Why? They are not happy. Do they not lack anything? They have everything. They have got fame, beauty, they have got money, everything they have. But still they are committing suicide. Why? They are not happy. The happiness is not there. It's all external. Internally they are not happy. So we should not go for this temporary thing. In Bhagavad Gita, there are 2 shlokas which comes in, which talks about this. He says initially, spiritual happiness is like a poison in the beginning. So it's too much. I have to wake up in the morning. I have to do Ekadasi fasting. How will I survive? I cannot survive a fasting. And there is a Pandav Nirjala Ekadasi, so oh my, I have to just sleep only because I will just fall down because Nirjala Ekadasi is straight up. So spirituality looks very difficult in the beginning. It's like a poison, it's too much. Right? You have to go to temple. Janmashtami day is very tough. You have to wait fast till midnight. And that too, a lot of activity has to happen. And then, Prabhupada, the story is there. If you have heard, Ratana Swami described this very nicely. I may not be able to narrate it in that sweetness, but I will still make an attempt. So Radhana Swami Maharaj says, once, Prabhupada was there in New Vrindavan. And there was Janmashtami. So Janmashtami, everybody was happy, ecstatic kirtan, the festival went so nicely, everybody fasted so much, everybody did so much service through the day because so much service is there, right? Everybody was very tired. So midnight aarti, everything got over at like 12:30, and now everybody think, okay, now we'll have a feast, prasadam, Prabhupada said, okay, let's read Krishna book. And you said, okay, yes, Prabhupada. So Prabhupada, that's the first chapter, Advent of Lord Krishna. And then start reading. And Prabhupada is sitting like this, and Radhana Swami describes. He says, Prabhupada is sitting like upright like this, eyes closed and listening. And first chapter gets over. Prabhupada ki jai. Second chapter. And everybody there are sannyasis sitting, and their dandas falling down like that, is because they are not going to hold on, because that whole day they were awake. They started day very early. They're chanting, they are doing service. Now everybody is exhausted, no food. And especially those sannyasis, they will do kind of Nirjal Ekadasi, Nirjal Janmashtami. They will not eat, drink, anything. And they were tired. Second chapter. And that gets over. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Everything now that will be, and some of them are already sleeping because people just couldn't cope up with that. Prabhupada said, third chapter. And at that time, only two people were awake. Prabhupada and the person who is reading. Everybody else is like, they just cannot cope up so much. But Prabhupada was so absorbed in that katha, and he's intensely, and he's sitting upright like this. We have to adjust ourselves. Oh, this is too much. We have to put like this. We keep adjusting ourselves. Prabhupada is sitting like this, all the time, and he's listening. And then after third chapter, looks like you all are very tired. Okay, we can stop. Everybody goes, like that, everybody jumps off and says, okay, now we'll have prasadam. So it is such a thing. So when we'll develop that kind of absorption in katha? Because hearing katha is one thing, but hearing katha with absorption is a very different thing. It's a very, very different thing. Because every word looks like, wow, oh, Krishna is so beautiful. You start visualizing those pictures as the speaker speaks. So those kind of things we have to develop. And here it is specifically spoken in this 2 verses by Krishna. He's saying spiritual happiness is poison in the beginning, becomes nectar towards the end, where the material happiness is nectar in the beginning, but then it develops poison towards the end. So therefore, we should not get entangled into this. We should keep chanting. We have to go develop the Nam Ruchi. We have to develop, because without that, because this is one of the most important activity or instruction Srila Prabhupada gives to everybody. Chant 16 rounds. If we want to progress spiritual life, then attentive chanting, offenseless chanting, chanting during Brahma Muhurta is very important. Anybody who wants to progress, then these things are important. And as we chant, automatically we will see that how we are. For example, if somebody says, Prabhu, how do I know that I'm progressing? the one barometer that one can see is that we develop more taste for chanting and Krishna Katha, and slowly we develop detest for material things. I want to enjoy, I want to go out and eat, I want to watch a movie. Those kind of things slowly, when they fade away, that means we are making some progress. That's the way we should measure ourselves. We should not see others, what they are doing. Never compare our bhajan with others, because we don't know how others are doing their bhajan. We should never do that. We should always compare what I have done last week, what I am doing this week. And that's how we can improve. So the more we chant, the better for us, regardless of we have taste or not, we should keep chanting. Pray to Srila Prabhupada, pray to Acharya, our Guru Varg. And that's the only way we can progress. If we become proud in chanting also, the fall down can happen. If you become proud in chanting also, fall down can happen. And at the same time, we should not reveal too much about our Nam Jap. We can reveal only to our Guru and maybe senior Vaishnava, whom we respect, and we try to get some guidance. But our Nam Jap should be the secret. It is for us, between us and Krishna. So usually we don't talk, oh, I'm chanting 30 Dhruvam, I'm chanting, whatever it may be. We should not tell everybody. It's not something that we publicize. Because sometimes even because of that, pride can come. So we should try to avoid that. So with that, I think we have something like, for example, I wanted to cover, but we are running short of time. So we may not go there. So basically, we should go from Shraddha to Prema. That's the 9th step. 9 stages of our devotional service is described, where we develop Shraddha, then we do Sadhu Sangha, then Bhajan Kriya. But see, there is something called Panchakosh. If you have heard of this, basically they talk about how our body is actually doing Panchakosh, where we go from Annamaya Kosh to Anandamaya Kosh. Annamaya Kosh is nothing but our bodily, which we think of at the body level, nothing more than that. That is like an animalistic behavior. So animal thinks of what? Only food. They only need food. If tiger is sleeping, if he's fed well, he will not attack. You can pass, something will happen. So he just needs food, that's it. But we have to progress and go to Anandamaya stage. And that is the stage when we have the prema and bhava. So slowly we should make a progress. And by offenseless chanting, by serving Vaishnavas, we will one day will reach to that stage. So this is something that we should practice, we should remember and go towards it. So yeah, I will not go into details of this. So that's too much. Yeah, so I think we'll stop here and see if there is any correction, any comment or a question anybody has. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhuvadevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Kodimeshwar ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Rupa Goswami Pada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Rupa Goswami Prabhu that Radharani used to come and cover.
Yes. See, Sad Goswami they never lived in a proper place. They used to even change trees. They will not even do bhajan under one single tree, because their thought process that I will develop an attachment to that tree. So this is my tree. Last time we talked about that story of Bhartu Hari Maharaj, right? So that kind of attachment can come, and that is not good for our bhajan, which is again like a materialistic behavior. We are getting attached to that. So that should be avoided. So they will do their bhajan, and all the Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Jeev Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, all this, they all were coming from very aristocrat family. Yeah, very, very wealthy and rich family. If you consider in today's comparison, they were like millionaires. Millionaires, they were millionaires. And there so many servants, such a great home, everything was there. But they gave up everything. So we may not be able to do like we give it up and live in Vrindavan and all those things. That is not what is being told. But we should not attach to what we possess. We can have nice place where we can bring Vaishnavas, they can do nice katha, we can serve them. All this is good. We can use this in the service of Krishna. Whatever we possess, if we use in the service of Krishna, that is good. So, lot to learn from our acharyas, their life, the way they lived. We need not imitate, but at least we can take inspiration. Imitation is not something we should do. Yeah. Okay, so we'll stop here.